Hi, welcome to my channel. I was inspired by a book that I saw in the Pratt Library. I go to Pratt Institute and I found a book about Hong Kong comics there, and I'm basing my research on that book. I don't know, I thought that it's a very interesting topic that I haven't seen before. So that's why I decided to make a video about Hong Kong comics. We all know what manga is, but we never talk about Chinese comics. After the Second World War, comics became one of the most popular reading materials in Hong Kong. Comic books were considered lowbrow entertainment for the enjoyment of the working class and children. However, over time, it became a money-making industry. Of course, Hong Kong comics were inspired by Japanese manga and American comics, but they developed into their own unique style. I think to explain what Hong Kong comics are, I need to mention the political system in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a special administrative region that has a high degree of autonomy. It was a British colony until it was handed back to China under the principle of one country, two systems. This allowed Hong Kong to remain its capitalist system, while mainland China is controlled by the central government in Beijing and has a socialist system with the Communist Party of China. Hong Kong's degree of autonomy has changed over time, and it has influenced a lot of things in the region, including comics. Manhua is the local term for comics.
Manhua, 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 manhua.
And it can be in many different forms. Graphic novels, editorial and political satire, caricatures, cartoons. Chinese manhua was born in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Early manhua was aimed at caricature and satire and was influenced by the traditional Chinese drawing styles. The development of Chinese cartoons began with the introduction of Western lithographic printing methods. Comics existed even in ancient times. One of the traditional styles of manhua is nianhua.
Nianhua, nianhua.
They were traditional New Year prints that were made during the Qing and Ming dynasties. These woodblock prints were important decorations for the new year and were hung in houses for good luck. Another ancestor to the modern Hong Kong comics is Lin Huan Tu.
Lianhua, lianhua, lianhua.
They were a type of palm-sized picture books with sequential drawings, popular in China in the 20th century. They consisted of a series of pictures with brief captions above them. Their purpose was to tell stories. Lin Huan Tu was aimed at a mass audience with little education and usually depicted Chinese stories. These comics were usually found in street kiosks and were rented for a small fee. So first we have manhua and linhuan too, and manhua is starting to become known and widespread. The Cartoon Association and the cartoon magazine Shanghai Sketch was established. China was fighting against Japan, so manhua reflected the anti-Japan propaganda. After the damage of the Chinese Civil War and war with Japan, manhua focused more on daily life and wasn't that political. Mainland China had anti- and pro-communist manhua, while Hong Kong had more commercial comics. Hong Kong comics did have some political messages, but they weren't that heavily political as those found in mainland China. At this time, television had a big impact on manhua, and more Japanese and American influence was seen. Kung Fu manhua was the most popular theme. The explicit violence even made the Hong Kong government put restrictions and censorship on those comics. Hong Kong experienced cultural diversity after the handover to China. Manhua had a variety of themes, but again, Hong Kong manhwas experienced censorship, and some of the authors had to seal their manhwas and put stickers with warning messages. So now I want to talk about the most recognized characters from Hong Kong comics. The first character is Mick Mug. Mick Mug is a fictional character. He's a cute, mischievous pig known for his adventures and relatable stories reflecting local Hong Kong culture. Mick Mug is often seen with his best friend, Mick Doll, also an adorable little pig.
教導小朋友都好少要用到體罰㗎啦。不過萬一小朋友真係頂心頂肺頂得好。
The 13 Dot cartoon. The 13 Dot is the name of the studio based in Hong Kong, and the name of its main character in its stories. Li Washeng is the artist behind the popular series Subsun Dim, or known as Miss 13 Dot, or the 13 Dot cartoon in English.
而家翻開13點，咦睇到咦幾啱心意嘅款式喎，咁去參考去做啦。
The main character is Miss 13 Dot, a millionaire's fashion-oriented teenager. I wonder, why did this become so popular in Hong Kong? Well, everyone wants to be a millionaire, duh. She uses her money for adventures, to learn new skills, and for charity as a teenager. And lastly, Old Master Q. The comic follows humorous adventures of a man who is wise but lazy, along with his friends, including the naive Big Potato and the clever Mr. Shin. He is described as your average Joe. He also has a job in Hong Kong. It was very hard to find information about them. The series is known for its clever wordplay, puns, and social commentary.
哎呀！你搞錯啦，唔係呢個虎，呢個虎係呢個虎咧，都話呢個虎咯。喂錯，今日打老虎啊！天生有些少遠視，博舞馬畫多怪異。拜拜。
Now that Hong Kong is once again under Chinese rule, it may experience some difficulties in the creative industry with the freedom of expression. However, this shift may result in manhua becoming more popular, produced, and diverse as it integrates with the larger Chinese market. I hope that Hong Kong comics will remain as original as they possibly can, because it would be sad to lose this uniqueness. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Has its socialist